guys, today I'm filming for you this look here. It is kind of like a shimmery champagne gold brown smoky eye. It's really easy to do. There's no eyeliner, so that's a big plus for people who kind of struggle with makeup a little bit. It'd be great for Christmas parties or a Monday afternoon if you're me. Okay, so to start off, I've already got my foundation done and my eyebrows. Did my eyebrows a little bit differently this time. I did not use soap and I did use a pencil instead of the pomade. So my favorite product to prime with are the MAC paint pots. This is the color Painterly, and basically I'm just going to take a little round brush like this and I'm going to apply this all over my lids all the way up to my brow bone. Also make sure that you get your lash line as well. So I'm going to take my Tartelette in Bloom palette and I'm going to take the color Charmer, and it's basically just a creamy white color. And I'm going to take that on a fluffy brush and I'm going to apply it everywhere where I applied the paint pot. So again, what this is going to do is it's just going to give like a silky base to blend out your colors. You'll notice a huge difference if you go in with an all-over lid color. Just go in with a color that's pretty close to your skin tone. It's pretty sad, but this white color is pretty close to my skin tone. So for my transition shade, I'm just going to use this color right here. This is from my In Bloom palette and it is called Smarty Pants. And I'm just going to use the same brush that I used to set my paint pot. So basically we are just going to use windshield wiper motions and put this all into the crease and the upper crease area because we want to have a nice transition color so we can get that gradient of colors and it looks really blended and professional. Also, a good thing to remember is to place your brush where you want the most product distributed. So I like for the darkest part of my looks to be on the outer corner, so that's where I'm going to put my brush. So next I'm going to go in with this cooler color here. It's a little bit darker as well. This one's called Jet Setter and it's a little bit darker and cooler tone. So I'm going to put that in my crease as well. And I'm just going to keep it a little bit lower than the Smarty Pants color. So again, placing my brush in the outer corner because that's where I want the darkest color to be. And I'm just sweeping it through and not bringing it up quite as high as I brought up our transition color. So I'm bringing this pretty far in to the inner corner on the crease, but what I'm doing is I'm just basically using the product that's left over on the brush, so I don't start bringing it in like this until there's not a whole lot left on the brush. So I'm also kind of packing this on to the outer third of the lid as well. I go in with the original brush that I used and I don't add anything to it, but I just use that to kind of blend everything out and together. So now I'm going to take my Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette and I'm going to use this color right here. It's called Malted and it's just a really nice dark brown. And I'm taking a pretty skinny, fluffy blending crease brush. So I took a little bit of the Malted color and I'm just really concentrating that low in the crease and only on the outer half. And then I'm just going to kind of bring it in a V shape because I do want it on the whole outer corner of the eye. So I have almost nothing left on this brush, and I'm just kind of bringing it into the inner part of the crease, just to create some depth. And again, I'm gonna go back in with the fluffy brush and I'm going to blend everything out. There's no such thing as too much blending, so don't be worried about like undoing what you've just done. This is the Studio Makeup on the Go palette. I got it in my BoxyCharm last month, and I was so excited to get this, especially for this color right here. It's just such a beautiful kind of like rose gold champagne color, and I'm really excited to use it. So my favorite way to use shimmery colors is just with my finger. So basically I'm just going to rub my finger in this color here, and I'm going to pat it right on the lid. Oh, this is pretty. It's kind of more glitter than shimmer on the lid, but I'm not complaining, I'm not against glitter. So you want to deposit the color right on like the ball of your eye and then kind of blend it to the inner corner and then meet up with your outer V. Okay, I'm probably gonna go in and make that pop a little bit more, but first I just want to do a little bit of blending. So I'm going to take this color here. This is called Multitasker. It's like a fudge color, and this is in the original Tartelette palette. So I'm just going to take this brush again, the Real Techniques one, and I'm just going to put that right in the outer third of my eyelid and blend it up into the crease. And again, when there's very little product left on your brush, you can bring it into the inner corner of the crease. And then just to blend everything together, I'm going to go back in with Smarty Pants, which is the original color that we used as our transition shade, and same fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go over everything and just kind of melt it all together. And then the last thing I like to do to get that really blended out look and no harsh lines like we do have here is I'll just take any fluffy brush and a very light shade, like something that's very similar to your skin tone, and just go over the top. So I'm just going to take Charmer, which is again that white color that we used to set our paint pot, and I'm just going to go over this and get rid of that harsh line that we have. Okay, and last step for the eyes, I just want to go in and make this shimmer color just a little bit more vibrant. So I'm going to go back in with that shade there, put some on my finger, and I'm just going to pat it right in the center. The mascara that I'm using is the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara, and I love it. It is my favorite mascara of all time. I've tried all kinds of like really high-end expensive mascaras, and to be honest, like I haven't found one that I like as much as this. I just really haven't. I like the one with the curved brush. My only beef with this mascara is that it doesn't come in like blackest black. It only comes in black with the curved brush. In order to get the, I think it's called like carbon black, it just has a straight brush and I don't like that one as much. So yeah, just a light coat of mascara. That's a light coat to me. So once I've done my upper eyelid, this is when I like to go in and do the rest of my face. So I'm going to start out by concealing. And this is also going to clean up any fallout or any kind of like little mess that we may have made while doing our eyeshadows. So first I'm going to take my Maybelline Age Rewind concealer, and this is the illuminating one. So it's a little bit pink, and I really love this concealer. And basically I'm just going to put that underneath where my eye bags are, and I'm just going to bounce that out. Then on top of that, I'm going to go in with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this is in the shade Chantilly. It's the lightest one, I think, and so it's perfect for me. And basically I'm just going to, I'm really running out of this, so like I really have to dip it often and scrape it off the inside of the tube. So basically I'm just going to put it in this area in kind of like an upside down triangle shape under the eye. I'm also going to put a little bit on the Cupid's bow, on my chin, down the bridge of my nose, and on the center of my forehead. I go in with my beauty blender and I just bounce it all out. And you can see as well it really cleans up that eyeshadow, so you get that nice straight line. You can use tape as well, and I often do use tape, but that's more when I want like a super sharp line. Don't really want a super sharp line for this look. I kind of want it to be smoked out and, you know, natural. To bronze, I'm going to use my Temptu. This is like a liquid bronzer. I also got this in my BoxyCharm, I think in October. But in the winter I get really dry, so I like to use as many liquid products as possible. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. Maybe like that much. And then I take a sponge. You can use your beauty blender for this as well, but I just kind of like these little sponges for this. And basically pop that in the bronzer. And I'm just going to, I'm not really going to contour with this, I'm just going to use this to kind of warm up the face. But I'll put it in the areas where I would contour. And I'm going to go back in with my bigger sponge that I just used to blend out my concealer, and I'm just going to bounce this out. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and set everything. So for my under eyes, I like to bake, so I'm going to use my RCMA No Color Powder, and I'm just going to pour some in my hand like that. But I also like to give it a little bit of color, so I'm going to go in with my Ben Nye Cameo Powder, and this is, or Ben Nye Luxury Powder, and this is in the color Cameo. If you guys are really into makeup, you've probably heard of the Ben Nye Banana Powder. This is the exact same thing, it's just a different color. I'm not Kim Kardashian, so I can't wear yellow, unfortunately. So I basically just mix the two together, and then I just want like an off-white kind of color. And then I take a dry sponge. These are just my personal use sponges, so they're like pretty dirty, but, and I load my sponge up with powder, and then I'm basically just going to press this under my eyes. And for those of you who don't know, this is called baking. So basically you just press this under your eyes and anywhere else that you want to bake. So I'm going to do my chin. I tend to get creasy around my smile lines, and then a little bit in my forehead and down the bridge of my nose. So again, basically all the places that you highlighted. And I like a really sharp contour, so I'm just going to go under that as well. I'm going to take my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm just going to set my contour areas, or the areas that I bronzed with the Temptu cream. That Temptu product is actually meant for like people that do airbrush makeup. So if you have the machine, then I guess you just pour that in the machine and then you use that. I don't have the machine, but I saw a ton of people just using a sponge, so I was like, I'm not gonna waste it. And it's really awesome. I really like the way it turns out. So again, using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm just going to bronze where I put that type 2 cream. The brush I'm using for this is just a BH Cosmetics kind of like powder brush. It comes to a little point. So I like it because it's small enough, but it's also big enough that I don't have to work so hard. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and brush off everywhere that I baked with this Real Techniques powder brush. And you'll just notice that everywhere that I baked is just super highlighted. So for blush, I'm going to use this Tarte palette here. It comes with 10 blushes. It's really nice. I pretty much used every single color in this palette, so it's a really good one. So I'm using Icon and Ironic. Oh, Icon and Ironic. And I'm just basically tapping into both, tapping off the excess, and then I'm just gonna very light-handedly brush this onto the apples of my cheeks and at my cheekbone. And then once I've applied that, I just kind of take whatever's left on my brush and I just kind of sweep that over the middle of my face, just because I find it like makes it look a little bit more natural. I use the word natural very loosely, by the way. So if you find that you do your makeup and anything's looking like a little bit streaky or just like a bit too intense, you can always go back in with your beauty blender or whatever brush you use to apply your foundation, and you can just kind of go over the edges of everything, and it's just going to soften everything up a little bit. So now the last step for my face would be highlight, and my favorite highlighter right now is this one by Ofra. It is the Beverly Hills highlighter, and I got this in my BoxyCharm last month, I think. I can't really use this shade here, this really bronzy one, as a highlight because I'm way too pale, but the rest of them are really, really nice. So kind of what I like to do is I just kind of sweep it over the other 4, skip the bronze one, tap off the excess, and then I just apply this to the tops of my cheekbones. And it's so nice, I love this. And then I just kind of go in like a C here. So we're gonna basically do the same steps that we did for the crease. So we're gonna start off with Smarty Pants, again, this one here. I'm gonna dip into that color and I'm just going to run that along my lash line. Now I like a really smoked out lower lash line. It's totally up to you what you're comfortable with, but you can just leave it here or you can follow these next steps and you can have it pretty dramatic. So again, I'm going to take Jet Setter, and this is all out of the Tartelette and Bloom palette. And I'm going to run that right over top of Smarty Pants. And you can just see that with every step it just gets like a little bit smokier and a little bit more blown out. So then I'm going to change up my brush and I'm going to use this flat definer brush by Sigma. And I'm going to take this color here called Activist. And it's just like a really, really, really dark, dark brown. Like it's almost black, but it's brown. And I'm basically just going to stamp that just on literally like the outer third of the bottom lash line. And it looks pretty crazy right now, but I'm gonna blend it out in a minute. So I just want to stamp that there. And then I'm gonna go back in with my pencil brush. I'm not gonna clean it or anything, just use whatever's left. And I'm just going to blend that, again, kind of creating a wing shape, connecting to the upper eyelid eyeshadow. And then for just to blend everything out, I'm going to go in with this fluffy brush that we used like 10 different times on the top lid. And I'm just going to go over everything. Okay, so now we're going to go back into our Ofra highlight palette and I'm going to take this color here. It's kind of like a purpley color. It's really beautiful. Yeah, there. So the purpley one. And I'm going to take this pencil brush that I was just using and I'm just going to dip into that. And I'm going to use that to highlight the inner corner of my eye. And I'm just going to place that underneath the arch of my brows. So literally just there. Okay, so for eyelashes, I'm gonna use these ones that I like made. Well, I didn't manufacture them, but I changed them. So basically there are Dell 160s, but I took another pair of lashes that I have, a thicker pair of lashes. I've already worn these a few times, so let me just be gross and undo it. So these are the Ardell 160s. And then I took another pair and I just cut the ends off them. So like they look like that. I think these were Ardell Wispies, to be honest, but I'm not 100% sure. But I basically just cut the end off them and then I glued them to the outer corner of these lashes. So it's like, you can see that it's kind of thicker on the outer corner. Anyway, so that's what I did. So it's up to you however you want to do these, but since I just detached them to show you guys, I'm just going to put the one pair on first, and then I'm going to glue the outer corner on as well, like the extra lash that I put on top. You can glue them together first and stick them on together, it's totally up to you, but... So the Duo eyelash glue, I use the white one that dries clear, and then I basically just put it on my lash. Let it get tacky for a minute. Basically, I look straight ahead at a mirror and I go in from the top and kind of just rest them right on top of my natural eyelashes. And then I connect the outer corner and then I connect the inner corner. And basically, I'm just going to put this right on top of the other lash on the outer corner. And that just gives you like a little extra. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do my lips now. So I'm gonna use my Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick, and this is in the color Crush. So I'm just going to apply this all over my lips. I really like the formula of these. I don't like it as much as the Kat Von D ones. I just find the Kat Von D ones are really thin. Like the formula is very thin and they're so comfortable to wear. These ones are a little bit thicker and a little bit more drying, and in the winter especially. I have super dry lips. So these are really pretty colors and they stay on really well. I just don't find them as comfortable as the Kat Von D ones. So I'm just going to make that dry for a minute. And then I like to go over with it and do a little bit of like an ombre type lip. And for that I like to use my Color Rock by BH Cosmetics. Like this tube looks really gross, but these lipsticks are actually quite good for how cheap they are. And then I'm just going to kind of bounce it right in the middle. And this is the color Charming. And it's just like a super light baby pink. So the very last thing I like to do is just take a little bit more mascara, and when my eyelashes are dry, I just like to kind of connect my real lashes to my fake lashes, but I don't want to put on like a big thick coat or you're going to get clumps at the end of your eyelashes. So I basically just keep it to the base of the lashes. NYX Dewy Finishing Spray. Okay, and that's everything for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there's anything else you want to see, just let me know. I'm hoping to do a couple more of these tutorials, at least maybe like a everyday kind of look, or maybe, oh, what I really want to do is like a purple smoky eye, because I'm obsessed with purple smoky eyes. But if there's anything in particular that you guys want to see, then just leave me a comment or private message me or anything, and I will try to get a video up for you guys. So thanks again for watching, and hope you guys have a great day.